Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. We're going to be going back into doing some more of the MSQ here, as we just got done doing a bunch of roulettes with friends. Let's see. I'm trying to catch that. Now I gotta make the long journey over there. Sorry about not being better prepared, but I wasn't prepared to actually have time today to do any of the MSQ. And we'll do it as dancer. So that's the only 90. That's the only 94 job I've got, and I think that's probably about where we're going to be starting to get quests for. Curious whether or not that is friend, foe, or my guess now is fate thing. Oh, but hopefully everyone's had a wonderful day. Where we left off was Valor Gamonda had been released. We just defeated him. Thankwood would suggest sharing the news of your victory. The Yokoi must still be anxious, wondering where and when Valor Gamonda will strike next. It's just we hurry back and allay their fears. Alpha knows as well, I should think. Yes, you're right. We shouldn't let them worry another moment. Oh, why am I doing that? I can now just teleport back. Before we do anything else, we should talk to Gerferler.
To the temple, then.
That won't be necessary, heroes of the hour.
Makes me think of the voice of
Valiga
Claw
Manda
from
is no more.
the old Detective
Yours
Gadget.
is a victory worthy of song.
We had plans for a second feat to be conducted here in town. But the recklessness of your fellow claimant has rendered them pointless.
A second feat?
The feat of ice. You are to fortify Valigarmanda's prison. How shall we proceed, High Luminary?
What more would we test, Zurmurwer? They have defeated the Sky Ruin and saved the gods know how many lives. If they are not worthy heirs to Kulul Jaljar, then no one is. Now that our last claimant has arrived, we can proceed with the formalities. For the skill and bravery the three of you have shown, I award you each a second keystone.
That makes 5. Only 2 left to collect.
Except that one of those 5 is in Bakul Jaja's thieving hands. He will answer for that. And for losing Valigarmanda.
You have brought lasting tranquility to our home and earned the gratitude of every Yokwi. May glory and prosperity continue to bless Tuliolol as we enter this new age.
Was never much of a talker, our brother. If you're up for it, you should visit the capital. I'd like everyone to get to know you and your people better.
I'll consider it if it's one of you two who claims the throne.
Then you need only await a missive from Sunperch. I'll be sending out invitations.
Sure you will, Kuana.
Today is a day for unusual visitors.
You Wukliamat, was it not? I doubted you could slay Valigarmanda, but the quiet skies proclaim your triumph. Had the Vidral been suffered to roam free, it would have terrorized us all. Once again, yourselves in your debt.
You owe us nothing. We fought because we wanted to.
Yet a debt has been incurred. All the same, it will haunt me if I do not repay it.
I wouldn't even know what to ask for.
Perhaps he can tell us about the dreams of the Golden City.
Oh, good idea. That was on my list of questions I wanted to ask.
You forgot entirely.
The golden dreams. Yes, we have records of our forebears and their visions from the time before the Shaktural expedition.
What did your forebears see?
A heavenly land, suffused with a golden glow. Its people lived as gods, never aging, never dying, free from hardship and conflict. Every building was a palace, and in their midst reigned a silent goddess, a statue so tall even my kin would need lift their gaze to behold its visage.
A statue of a goddess. That's new.
Aye, and compared to the abstract imagery we'd previously heard, this was a detailed description.
The dreamers were consumed by their visions, compelled to seek out the paradise they'd been shown. They journeyed to Shaktural, where they died in droves.
Those who go in search of the Golden City do not return. The tales Book Evu shared may have been rooted in historical fact.
Perhaps. Who can know the truth of it? Once our ancestors left the forest, there were no more dreams, no dreamers.
The forest? What do you mean?
From the very first, the visions were set to visit only those who worked the quarries in Yaktel. But after they were ravaged by disease and saw fewer newborns, they were forced to abandon that territory. Once our people's withdrawal to Urkopacha was complete, we never again dreamed of the Golden City.
So only Yokhui in that one specific area experienced the visions. Fascinating.
That
Well,
implicate an
we're
environmental
headed to
factor as
Yakdal
being the
next.
source.
Maybe we'll find out more when we get there. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
I do not require gratitude. I merely repaid a debt. Farewell, Wook Lamat. I do not think our paths will cross again.
You say that now, but I don't think Vorpurlor and his brethren will have a sudden change of heart about Tulial. That doesn't mean they'll never change at all. Today is proof of that. Anvil will propose a course of action. Next time we return to Tulial after scaling Tural's tallest mountains and battling a legendary beast to the death, even dauntless heroes like you could probably use a rest. In any case, there are preparations to be made before we can visit the next destination laid out in the saga. The respite would be most welcome. I believe I hear the forward cabins calling our names. Excuse me. Couple new quests to do around here. Rest well, everyone. We can meet back here later on. I have a small errand to run in the city, so I'll leave you to recover. Will you be heading to the palace, Woklamot? Woklamot, did you hear me? Well, it's our own little world, it seems. Well, no matter. I'll be back soon enough. An attendant is standing by to unlock your cabin. Enjoy your stay. Welcome back. Your cabin is just as you left it, minus a light layer of dust.
You have a moment?
Yeah, we certainly do.
There's something I wanted to talk to you about. So,
Well...
It's just too stuffy in here, that's what. We should go outside. Aye, a nice walk in the fresh air. That's what we need.
That helps from time to time. Sorry to drag you away from your nice, comfortable cabin, but I could feel the walls closing in. Oh, I know. I'll take you to one of my favorite places, Tulial. That should help me get my thoughts in order. We'll go to the Resplendent Quarter and make our way up from there. Okay. Shaya, what are you doing up about? Is your back feeling better? It's much healed now, so don't make a fuss. Besides, I can't be lounging in bed all day when you're out there fighting your hardest to win the throne. You're the claimant with the greatest love for peace. I love this nation of ours, and lending you my support is the least I can do. When I see you smile like that, how can I not be encouraged? Oh, ho, ho, ho. There's plenty more of you who believe in your cause. I can recruit a whole battalion of smiling faces if you think it'll help. Yours alone is more than enough. Thank you, Pashaya. And thank you, Third Promise. I shall pray for your success in the contest. All those smiling faces. Ah, sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's just that with the progress we made in the contest, even these everyday encounters feel that much more special. Do you think we can take our time and maybe wander around a little first? Then we can head to the spot I was thinking of.
This is much better.
Well, you seem a little more relaxed here in this spot.
I used to come here all the time when I was little. I'd look out over the whole city, and whatever worries I had would seem so small. Do you remember what I said at the top of Warkor Zormor? That I would fight to preserve Papa's peaceful Tural? Well, I've been thinking a lot since then. About what peace really means. If it's just the absence of war. And it brought to mind all the best parts of our journey so far. I realize nothing gives me greater joy than the happiness of others. Life has its ups and downs, but the company of family and friends and the music of their laughter is what makes it worth living.
You're not wrong.
And as silly as it might sound, I've come to believe that those smiling faces are the best measure of peace. With eternal life and no struggle or conflict, it's certainly an ideal worth striving for. Who knows if we could make such a world a reality? But renouncing war and conquest seems like a good place to start.
That it does.
So, this is my plan. When I become Dawn Servant, I'll build on Papa's peace. Our people will live together in happiness. It's just like Kryl said. By taking the time to hear their concerns, understand their feelings, and consider how best to serve, with each passing day, I'll be that much closer to becoming the leader I want to be. It's hard for me to say how much I've changed since the contest began. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. I wouldn't have come this far without you as allies.
Well, we do try.
If it wasn't for you all listening and feeling and thinking along with me, I would have never learned so much, and in so short a time. There are 2 keystones left. After everything that's happened, and imagining what could happen, are you still willing to walk this path with me?
Do you have to ask?
Thank the gods for that. Well, I've nothing else to get off my chest. I need to head to the palace, but I'll see you back at the cabins.
Okay. Don't know where I got that from, but oh, I collected all my PvP series stuff, so that's probably where that came from. You look to be in good spirits. I assume your leisure time was well spent. I was glad to snatch some quality sleep myself. After all, it will soon be back to the road for us. Alphino seems eager to review your journey thus far. I'm sure the others will be along shortly. I do hope everyone has rested well. Now that we've refreshed ourselves somewhat, let us consider all claimants as they currently stand. Zero, Jha, and Kuana have completed every feat thus far and hold 5 keystones apiece. Woklamash would be equal to them but for Boku Jaja's thievery, which has left us 1 short. That conniving braggart didn't so much as lift a finger for the feat of proof and wreaked havoc for the feat of ice. He can't have more than 3 keystones at most. He may think he can simply steal what he needs to win, but he's sorely mistaken. I will be taking back what is mine. This I swear. I fear that reclaiming your keystone may not be enough. That is, if Bakujaja's unleashing of Valgarmonda is any indication. Using this lead, I anticipate that he will move to obtain the remaining keystones before disrupting his rival's attempts. We may all find ourselves being forced to take from one another. I can't say I'd be comfortable with that. But neither will I surrender my claim to the throne so easily. If it's for the sake of preserving the happiness of my people, I'll do what I must. The last keystones we require are those of the Lay of Repast and the Lay of the Brotherhood. The former depicts the cessation of hostilities between the Mumulja and the Xral in the forests of Yoktel, specifically near a village called Ik-Brox. That's where I was born. If you recall, I haven't been back there since Papa took me in when I was a baby. Where the Lay of Brotherhood takes place, however, is unclear. In the saga, it is said that a foreign explorer came seeking an audience with the Dawn Servant, but little more than that. Eorzea has a similar tale. The explorer Kettenram befriended a two-headed king known as the Autarch before commencing his travels across Toral. He journeyed here several times afterwards, but was ultimately lost at sea. At least that is the commonly held belief. Your two-headed king certainly sounds like Papa, so this Kettenram fellow must have come to Tulial. But if he indeed arrived some 80 years ago, the capital may not have been built yet, vestiges of Yakoi architecture notwithstanding. Wait, you said Autarch, didn't you? Then Kenrir must have met the Dawn Servant in Mamuk. Mamuk, is that a city? One of the grandest in Toral. And the seat of the Mumulja's homeland. It too lies in Yoktel, not far from Ik-Brox. In all things considered, Yoktel seems to be the obvious choice for our next destination. From here, the safe method of travel is by dirigible. We should make for the landing once our preparations are complete. We're riding in one of Kuano's balloons? They can't be any worse than ships, can they? I mean, possibly. I kind of feel bad for her, because it's just like, she does not travel well. The next flight to Yoctel will be leaving shortly. Passengers are asked to keep hands, legs, and luggage inside the dirigible at all times. Are we sure that thing will stay in the air all the way to Yoctel? Are you ready? Bags packed and our goodbye said? There's no going back once we lift off. Not that I'm nervous or anything. I'm just making sure that you're not nervous. Oh, who am I kidding? My knees won't stop shaking. Hey, will you hold my hand? Just until I've settled my nerves. I would not turn that down. You're the nicest person I've ever met. I'll try not to crush your hand. Okay, maybe now I don't want to hold your hand. There she is, third promise. Just wait a moment. Mablu and Tabli, of course. I'll wait as long as you need. Sorry to delay, but we were able to discover the origin of Kryle's earring. Is that so? Said before that it gained popularity in Yoctorel as a protective ward for travelers, correct? That's right. We tracked down the elderly merchant to whom first sales are attributed. According to him, the design imitates an accessory worn by a foreign mage he met at market some 20 years ago. Well, he didn't know that charming taste of salt would prove to be a commercial triumph. A foreign mage wearing this earring could only be my grandfather. Did the merchant happen to mention which market? One in Yoctel, to where it seems you are already bound. Well, look, then I shall seek my next clue once we arrive. Is it mere coincidence that I brought my grandfather here, or yet another discovery to look forward to? Thank you both for coming all this way. Anything for the third promise. Good luck with the rest of the rite. Thanks. I won't let you down. I've just got aboard this dirigible and I'm as good as there. Last call for passengers to Yoctel. I really hope she wins. Yocto will test her mettle without doubt. The next Dawn Servant must be willing to bear the full weight of this nation's history, no matter how heavy it may be.
The fierce Chapral hunters who laid claim to this land call it the Azure Forest, Yaktel. Battered by meteors in ancient times and colored mesmerizing shades of blue and green by nature, it is easy to understand why the place is so named. It is here, where the Chapral and Mamulja once battled for dominance, that the right of succession would reach its climax.
She did not
You
travel well
alright?
this way either.
I've never been good with heights.
The vegetation is far denser than in Kozumautka.
I suggest you pay more attention to the ground, unless you want to walk straight into a cenote.
A cenote?
Sinkholes filled with rain and groundwater. Many meteors fell here long ago, it is said, and after they struck the earth, it became susceptible to erosion. Deep as some of the pits are, you'll not climb out in a hurry should you take a tumble. So, don't take a tumble.
We'll do what we can.
It was one time.
Of course she
Is
did.
the Chapral community depicted in the Lay of Repast close by?
Aye. We need but follow the path a short way west.
Right. I can't stand here with my knees knocking forever. Let's get going.
I mean, you could. It just mean you weren't of much use. With thicker vegetation comes reduced visibility. I advise you to keep someone in sight at all times. Oh, I guess this may be a lagoon. Looks so beautiful. Probably up until the creature from the Black Lagoon comes up and tries to grab you. Good, everyone's accounted for. Ikbrox is up ahead. Let's be on our way. Anvil was not exaggerating about the cenotes. It would be a grueling ordeal to climb out of one. Well, I think we made it here without incident. Let's not dally any longer. Local Maw's attention is divided between the perilously deep cenote and Ikbarox. Ready to head on in? Our first task should be finding the Elector. Hopefully our relative tardiness will not reflect poorly upon us. The third promised in her routine, I presume. You presume right. I seek the Dawn Servant's Elector. Then come and join us in the Garden of the Stars at the village center. Everyone is waiting for you. Well, that feels odd. Just have everyone waiting on us? Everyone? And who might that be? There's but one way to find out. Come, let us follow him.
At last, we are graced by the presence of the third promise.
And you have to be a dick
I'd
again.
known we'd be waiting on your mangy hide, I wouldn't have bothered with a Ligarmanda in the first place.
You self-serving piece of weaver dung! Do you have any idea how many could have been hurt?
Now that we are assembled, let us begin. My name is Hunmuruk. As Ibrash Rash, I have the honor of serving as Elector on behalf of my people. As all four claimants must be present for this feat, we have eagerly awaited your arrival. Third promise, if you would please join us. Thus far, you have faced each other as rivals. The feat of repast, however, will test your cooperation. You must complete this challenge in teams of 2.
What? You expect us to work with one of these weaklings?
Be warned. Only the triumphant team will receive keystones. I advise you to cooperate with your partner. Teams will be decided by lots. Those who draw the same color will be paired accordingly.
Well, forbid Wuklamat is paired with Bakul Jaja. After all he's put her through, I wouldn't blame her if she did something rash. I might even help.
Claimants, please present your colors.
Red.
I have red. Blue. On separate teams, then. And the rest?
Red.
So we got Koana.
Which means...
Together again, as fate would have it.
Victory's as good as ours.
A little too
With
overconfident
our
there.
claimants thus paired, so too is their opposition.
Not the one-head.
Listen well, for the trial that awaits you is as follows. Each team is to prepare a sample of traditional Shebrol cuisine. Shebruk Bibi.
Cooking contest.
Now we
Great.
must cook. Another ludicrous feat.
So it might seem, but there's bound to be deeper meaning to it.
Agreed. Given that the very future of our nation is at stake, all parts of this rite must have significance.
Our promises have grown rather promising, wouldn't you say? Indeed. If I were to guess at the significance of the feat, few things reflect the history and development of a culture so clearly as its culinary traditions.
The variety of stewed dishes in Garlean cuisine bespeaks their agricultural roots and cold climes, true.
The peoples we've met on our journey, they've all had different practices involving food and drink. The Hanuhanu replenish their magical energies with reeds, while the Pelupelu have turned their fondness of beverages into a living. So basically, to know a people's cuisine is to know something of their ways.
Not bad.
With each feat, we have deepened our familiarity with a given community's history and culture. Is this what Father intended for us all along? But a leader with his vision must see that the past doesn't hold the answers we need. It is through embracing innovation, not adhering to tradition, that we will usher Tuli Yolal onto a more prosperous future.
It's actually a mixing of the two.
The rules are simple. The first team to prepare and partake of satisfactory Shibruk Bivir will be deemed victorious. You will be judged by your sample's taste and appearance, as well as your adherence to appropriate cooking techniques. Kitchens have been made available for your use. Note that you may be asked to retry should your dish fail to pass muster. Let the feat of repast begin.
I've never actually heard of Shibruk Bibil before. What's it like, I wonder?
How fortunate that this feat's unique stipulations have frustrated Baku Jajo's attempt to delay us. Serves him right. That's what he gets for endangering my people with his schemes. Why doesn't he just compete fairly? He's plenty strong and obviously has a mind for strategy, twisted though it may be. I'll never understand him. Putting aside our competition for the moment, allow me to express how glad I am for this opportunity to work together. As I see it, our team possesses a distinct advantage. Of course we do. Any team I'm on is bound to succeed. Precisely. We have an advantage in numbers, yes. Our competition has a team of 6. 2 claimants, Ryoja and Baku Jaja's lackeys. Whereas we are a team of 9, that's 3 more people we can mobilize. With the task suitably delegated, it should be a brisk affair to learn the recipe and assemble necessary ingredients. Too easy. Well, we mustn't be overcome, lest we make a careless mistake that could have been easily avoided. Our first order of business should be determining the recipe for Zebruk Babil. We can hardly gather ingredients for a dish we know nothing about. Given the nature of the feat, asking for answers directly may prove less effective than simply observing the daily habits of the Zbral people. Let's gather here once we have seen what clues this village has to offer. Just a moment, I need to plug my phone in before it dies. The last one's called a chiote. Mostly use it to add a bit of color to our most popular cuisine, but its medicinal benefits are significant as well. The recipe of Babil? I could tell you, friend, a dish so delicious is meant to be shared. Alas, we are forbidden from divulging anything. Orders from Hunmo Rook himself. But your mentioning has given me a fierce craving. I only hope there's still a brook to be had at the market. Brook is probably some sort of ingredient. We gotta cut our losses and head to Mamook. This feat is nothing but a fool's errand. Difficult if you think we won't tan our hides for leather if we dare to return without enough keystones. Besides, we've taken them from the house cat before. How difficult could a second time be? Now, what are you looking at, Salt Liquor? Mind your own business. Right, quickly, I'm getting close to cap on those. Yeah. Don't know how either one of those will sell, but at least make some room. Oh no, it appears I've gone and dropped my nodule. I mean, Jatika banana peel. Very see it for all the steam issuing from the underground oven. Ah, there's nothing like enjoying a tasty banana while you use the leaves in your cooking. So it's cooked. Okay. So we're doing some pit cooking. Got it. So sorry, I'm back. What did we discover about Zabruk Pavel? True to your prediction, the villagers were forbidden from educating us directly. However, many were still preparing it as one might a staple dish. An observation of their techniques yielded clues enough. A lady blending local herbs and spices was only too happy to describe the ones I didn't recognize, while neither confirming nor denying any relation to Toxabruk Pabil. The one particular she attributed to all common Zbral dishes, achiote she called it. See, then, Zabruk Pabil is indeed a dish as ubiquitous as Alphinaud claims. We have confirmed our first ingredient. Meanwhile, I did observe a cook burying bundles wrapped in a leaf of nodule or banana in certain localities. It would seem the use of subterranean ovens is commonplace. I saw the same. I think we all know what's inside those bundles then, don't you? As would be expected of a dish called Zabruk Pabil, indeed. So to summarize, this dish is one of a bruk flavored with a combination of spices that includes achiote and steamed underground within nodule, or banana leaves. Given our assumptions are correct, we must now learn where and how to procure our ingredients. As a staple cuisine, its ingredients would be close at hand, which is why Thancred and I scouted the surrounding forest while you were all exploring the village. Between the local vegetation and wild brook, we should have everything we need in regards to meat and spices. Leave it to a master gleaner. That we should next divvy up our tasks. While some gather ingredients, others should make ready the kitchen. I can help prepare the kitchen. Permit me to assist as well. Our ovens will doubtless require firewood, and I have some experience in its gathering. I too should be glad to volunteer mine aid. And the rest of us will gather ingredients. I can make quick work of the spices and herbs myself. I'm happy to lead someone to a suitable Ibruk if they will perform the requisite deed. Alice? As for the nodule leaves, I believe I am capable of acquiring that much on my own. Be warned, you won't find nodule in these parts. They only grow in the Jatika heartland. Forests far below these. Such an excursion may be time-consuming. Perhaps we ought to try bartering first? This encourages our communication with the locals, after all. Lamati, hearing if you would accompany me on my errand? No better way to whet my appetite. Good, let's be about our tasks then. Come on, let's go and find these Najul leaves. The sooner we do, the sooner we can eat. Kona has the look of a man intent on finding bananas. Let's see if there are Najul leaves to be had in town. Perhaps the cook Oriange mentioned might be persuaded to spare us a few. Well, let's find them here and see what we can learn. Oh, hello again. Did you need something? Najul leaves for purposes other than Zabruk Pabil? Naturally. Fortunately, I've just used up my last. You'll have to travel to the lower forest for more. Gomajit Grove is the source of the finest Najul leaves you'll find. Wild variants you sometimes see in the city markets can't compare. I see. I'd hoped to avoid such a lengthy venture, but if there's no other way to obtain our ingredient, then to the Jatika heartland we shall go. Allow me to save you the trip. Traveling there requires that you go through the Tianbuk Traverse, but it's caved in due to the recent storm, I expect. What? But that means we can't get our Najul leaves. But we can, can't we? If there were no other way of procuring them, you would have suspended this feat or else altered its objective. Perhaps. Anyway, I apologize for the interruption, but having overheard your conversation, I felt compelled to chime in. It's very kind of you. Any last-minute advice you'd be willing to share? Only to undertake the feat of repast with an empty stomach. You may find Zabruk Pabil to be a delicious but daunting dish to finish. And I can't wait. So, if there are no leaves here and we can't travel for more, how are we supposed to gather all our ingredients? These feats are meant to deepen our understanding of the peoples and cultures of Tulial. So perhaps there's something about Zabruk Pabil that we have yet to learn. Something of significance other than its recipe or ingredients. Oh, I see, like who was the first to make it, its history, that sort of thing. If it's Yaktel history you're interested in, you should start with the Old War. Doing Zbrawl and the Mumujal? Right. These forests have borne witness to centuries of warfare, the evidence of which remains a scar upon the earth. To know the end of that bloodshed is no Zabruk Pabil. Huh? What does Theme to Brook have to do with bloodshed? Precisely the question we must answer. Vexing though such a detour may seem, I can think of no other way to approach this feat. In that case, you may wish to visit the site of a settlement ruined by the war. The village of Ilan Aso. It lies a short distance to the east. The village of Ilan Aso. Understood. Thank you for your help. Come, let's go and see this place. let's go see what it's all about. Oh, well shit. Actually, I was going... Took me a moment to realize why I wasn't going off the edge there. The village of Ilyana So must be further east. Let's continue with haste. For all we know, our competitors may be on our heels. Those are neat little creatures. So this is the village of Ilyana So, or what's left of it. It was a place of light and life. My great-grandfather called it home, in fact. Yuki Ivu, I didn't know you were in Yoktel. Just right, following us around, isn't he? I was picking up lumber from Ick Brooks when I heard the third promise was on our way to this site of deep historical significance. I immediately saw another opportunity to be of service and so followed you here. Gyok Ivu is a shipwright who came to our aid during the feat of reeds. Pleasure, you are a member of the third promise's routine, I presume. For the moment, I suppose I am. My name is Kuana. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Kuana, now that's a good name. A familiar name. Where have I heard? Kuana, as in the second promise of Tulial? To think that I addressed the servant's own son as some common retainer. Such disrespect cannot be excused. Please take up your gun. God. Oh, come on, not this again. I take no offense, so please do not dwell on it. Alright then, I shan't dwell on it. And right on cue. At least he's consistent. I understand you wish to learn about Sabruk Babil, but I am forbidden by the Raj to divulge any information regarding its preparation. I would be happy to share what I know of Yoktel's history. We'd appreciate that. In its most basic sense, the conflict between the Xbral and Mumulja was one of land. The Mumulja live in the lower forest, where the thick canopy obscures the sun and the soil is unforgiving to crops. This drove them to covet the upper forest, the home of the Xbral, and they launched a determined campaign to seize it for themselves. Yet, advantage ever favors higher ground, and Xbral forces held the upper hand against the invaders. rebuffing them time and again. But as the state of this village would attest, the tide eventually turned. What brought it about? Something you know all too well. Blessed siblings. Let's understand, the Mumujal were once a people as much at war with themselves as they were with others. The Hobigo, Bunwa, and Dopro each sought to assert dominance over the others, even as they engaged the brawling battle. In an effort to strengthen bonds and discourage infighting, Hobigo and Bunwa leaders arranged a marriage between their children. However, this political measure altered the course of history in ways no one could ever have imagined. It was long believed that the partners of differing clans could not have children together. But then it happened. A child arrived who shared the blood of Hobigo and Bunwa both. A two-headed Mumuja. Blessed with tremendous physical strength and magical prowess, he grew into a mighty warrior before eventually arising as the first autarch, ruler of all three clans. Such qualities would dispose anyone to leadership, character notwithstanding. Under the autarch's rule, the newly united Mumuja became a force to be feared. I think it best you see the results firsthand. Let's visit another battlefield from that time, and then I shall continue the tale. Something's up. Just got disconnected from there. My game froze. What is up? Well, my game crashed anyways. And my Discord disconnected. Do I even have internet? I do not appear to have network access at the moment. Windows seems to be having issues. Well, I think this is just where we're going to end this stream, and we will be back some other time. While I go try and figure out how to fix these issues. Till next